Greetings, YouTubers. It's Keith. Welcome back. Going to do some comic book stuff today. This is a little impromptu, even though I kind of planned the subject matter. I didn't really, I don't have a script or anything like that. This is just all off the cuff. What I'm doing today is a battle, as it were, between a couple publications. So if you would, when you're done watching this video, do me a favor and leave a comment as to your opinion as to who the winner of this battle is. Now, what is this battle about? Well, this is going back to the Warren publication Creepy magazine, started by Jim Warren in the 1960s to skirt the Comics Code Authority the way that Bill Gaines did when he converted Mad Magazine to a black and white, Mad Comic Book to a black and white magazine format. He could have done that with his horror stuff. You know, he published Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, Vault of Horror, etc. He had all those great artists working for him. But he chose not to go that route. He just dumped the horror stuff, and Jim Warren picked up on it. That being said, Creepy kind of, with Warren, started off using as many old EC artists as Jim Warren could get to work for him. And that worked really well for a while. Then in the 70s, Creepy then sort of took on its own vibe under different directorial editorships, so to speak. Bill Dubay kind of gave it a nice 70s vibe. Then, unfortunately, in the 1980s, Warren Publications ceased, and currently today, Creepy exists as a comic book published by Dark Horse Comics, and now there is also a black and white magazine by Warrant, wink, Publishing, editor Rich Sala, I don't know the exact pronunciation, has sort of kind of picked up in as best as he could where Warren left off. It's a magazine, black and white. It's called The Creeps, okay? And, like, you know, instead of Uncle Creepy, there's the old creep is like the mascot. So, you know, here is Creepy #1, Warren Publishing, which, you know, okay, this is what we're battling about today. Which of the current, so to speak, incarnations, and I use the term loosely because the Creeps is, you know, not affiliated with Warren whatsoever, but it is, shall we say, an homage. Who's carrying the banner, the best spirit, shall we say, of the Warren tradition? By the way, this cover with Uncle Creepy on it is by the recently deceased Jack Davis. So I wanted to get that on there. That's Creepy #1. So, okay, folks, here is this is not the most recent issue of Dark Horse Creepy, but Dark Horse, I guess, owns the right to the name Creepy. They use Uncle Creepy in here. This is in comic book format. It's in black and white. There's the opening page. See, there's Uncle Creepy. There's a frontispiece. Now check this out. Dear Uncle Creepy. And apparently they got no letters. That's sad. Maybe that's an indication of the direction, you know, they've maybe lost the readership. I don't know. Then there's a little, you know, cartoon down here. Uncle Creepy pleading for, you know, feedback. There's a nice story here. Who's this artist? Sandy Jarrell. Script by Jeff Parker. This was pretty decent. Although if you look at this, you know, I mean, this is kind of an indicator of the art style that Dark Horse has been using pretty frequently in the Creepy comic. Then here is something Peter Baggy gets a lot of these like Creepy family cartoons in there, sort of humorous things that go in between the stories. And what Dark Horse also does is they reprint every issue a classic story from Creepy. This one's by Archie Goodwin and Gene Colan, called Thing of Darkness. There's some more silliness. Peter Baggy, the Creepy family. And this was really nice art on this one here, The Binding Ceremony. I just want to give kudos to Sandra Lands. Pretty good art. Some nice looking like ink wash stuff in here. You can see there. And the story wasn't too bad either. The story was by Vera Green Tea. Okay, so that's kind of an, a baseline for what Dark Horse is doing. There's more creepy humor on the back. That being said, now let's move on to Warrant Publications' The Creeps. This is issue number 3. Look at this Frank Frazetta cover. Now, if you're a kid, what's more appealing to you, this Frank Frazetta cover or this? Listen, man, I'm not dogging anyone's art. Art is hard, okay? So I'm not saying that's like crap by any means, but what I'm saying is what we're looking for here is who's capturing the spirit currently of the old Warren magazines. And it's kind of hard to beat Frank Frazetta. Frank's deceased, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock. So I'm assuming, given this advertisement on the back of The Creeps, that Rich Sala and the ownership at Warrant Publishing struck some sort of deal to be able to use this piece. You look at the inside here. Check that out. Table of contents. So tell me that doesn't look... I mean, even the paper, okay? Now I realize there's 2 different formats. But the paper even reeks of that old... not reeks, I don't mean smell. I mean, it's just... It feels just like the old Warren paper. Okay? And Sala is trying to use as much of the old Warren talent as he can. Roger McKenzie, Neil Adams, Rich Buckler, Alan Weiss all have material appearing in this. But okay, look at this. The Desperado. Now there are some things in I've noticed in The Creeps that are just hilarious. There are just some out and out swipes. Not in this issue, but in an earlier issue, there are just total Bernie Wrightson just rip-offs. And I hope it was done tongue-in-cheek. I kind of think it was, but no one ever comes right out and has mentioned anything like that. Here's a nice piece here. This is a cool story. Art was by Jason Palos. It's got that Wally Wood feel to it. So anyway, this is just my opinion, okay? And you guys, as comic book fans, should actually support both publications. I do. Especially if you're into horror comics, you need to support both of these because it's hard making horror comics. It's hard making comics. It's hard to successfully publish comic books in this day and age. So please support both of these publications. But I would have to say, based upon what I'm seeing lately from the Dark Horse Creepy, and then the new kid on the block, The Creeps, that my winner of this battle goes to Warrant Publishing, The Creeps, for capturing the essence and the spirit of the old Warren Creepy magazine the best. Again, comment with your opinion down in the comments section, and I'll catch you next time, Creeps. Later.